Hi friends, my name is Borrodante, and welcome back to ArtRage 5 Beta. So cyberpunk usually involves some kind of subculture eccentric haircuts. So let's go with this kind of saw on the head. I wonder if this is going somewhere. You guys probably know if it does because you saw that background in the title in the beginning of the episode and a thumbnail. But I usually, when I just search and I just start painting, it usually looks so weird, like what the hell is this? But then if you really avoid silhouettes, you will be able to find something cool. So which eye, and even more than an eye, we would augment? I think this one, because we kind of have, or no, yeah, probably this one so we'd see more. I think it should go like sideways a bit, like including the ear, some kind of thing. But yeah, this thing is not supposed to just cover the eye like an eye patch. There will be an actual spherical eye inside of this thing, and it's gonna be like a metallic eye. Yeah, let's do that. Whoa, I'm getting really sleepy. This is gonna be a trippy episode. Alright. I love sleepy episodes, although usually artwork comes out kinda weird. But I haven't tried that with my no silhouette technique. Maybe it will work out. Maybe it's just the right thing to do when you're sleepy. I gotta say, I immediately feel a lot more comfortable working with actual digital brush. That is, working the way I created it. It's just my thing, I always work with my brushes. Now let's make a bit of a wider haircut. I don't want him to go just with a punky mohawk thing. Let's maybe turn off the pressure control for the size, because I feel like it will be easier for me to block in. Like it would be perfect to have this very slight pressure control, but not today. Yeah, let's make him a bit more angry. He kinda looks like, hey, what's up guys? Do you like my new thing? Am I cool now? That's not the kind of thing you wanna see in a cyberpunk story. He should be knowing what he's doing. He shouldn't feel the way I feel while painting him. He's kinda starting to shape up into something interesting. Yeah, we should lower the eyebrow. I remember when I painted in the episode with the zombie portrait, the recent one, the drawing to painting one, some friends in the comments said that when eyebrows are frowning, they should be really close to the eye. And I kinda like drew it like this, but very high. And that looked weird. Yeah, so when people are frowning, the eyebrow should be super low, really close to the eye like this. Yeah, there we go. Now he looks like he lives in a giant city filled with disgusting augmented people that sell human body parts. For some reason, why would you sell human body parts when you have digital ones? But you know, all kinds of stuff happen. And he's like, I'm gonna clean these streets from this scum. And he goes on rampage, and everybody's dead in the end. Kinda like Blade Runner thing, I don't know. I haven't watched Blade Runner. I should watch it, the remake is coming out soon. Huh, so opacity thing still doesn't really change anything. Like you can turn it on in the stylus settings to be able to change the opacity with the pressure, but making minimum opacity higher won't change anything, like it's still gonna be always the same. Maybe maximum will change. Yeah, maximum removes all the opacity, same as this one, but this one is different. This is the opacity and this is the flow actually. But minimum doesn't really change the minimum. So minimum size and minimum opacity require some attention, I think. He reminds me of character played by Sting in The Dune. I don't remember his name, but I remember he was kinda evil. Okay, after a while, I feel like I'm struggling a little bit with the transparency. Like, I have a very huge step, right? So there should be no problem with like a very dense spacing being in the way of opacity control. But the point is that even though there is a control over opacity, this is the minimum opacity I can get. And that's pretty opaque. Like, I can't make an accurate stroke changing the color a little bit. It's always gonna be kind of pretty strong. Oh, and when it's smaller, it's even denser, kind of. Like, I'm really trying to barely touch the canvas. So yeah, it could use like a curve of pressure influencing the opacity and size and all that. Because right now it's really hard to make things transparent enough sometimes. Let's add some cool scars. One is here, obviously asking to be going on, and the other one is around this right eye. Okay, adding some complexity to the micro shapes of the face makes it look actually interesting now. What do you know, it's not a total crap now. Looks kinda nice when zoom in, meaning the visuals of the strokes themselves are just nice enough to not look creepy, you know? For such a fast brush it looks pretty good. I mean, my Miyako brush always does that, but it's a good thing that it looks the same way here. Okay, I think the face part, the skin part, is kinda decent enough now. Let's work on this metallic part because this is the point of interest. And also on hair, but that's a bit later. Right now I really wanna pay attention to this thing. The visor. Totally got distracted with the hair. Time for some liquefy. His head is twice as big as it's supposed to be, so let's make the shoulders kinda wider. So what is it? Warp, right? There it is. Oh yes. Well yeah, this looks a bit more legit. Added some, like, something on the background, cause he just looked kinda too blank, I don't know. Cyberpunk usually requires some details going on everywhere, no matter what it is. Like, if it's just a portrait, still has to have, like, something going on to have the atmosphere of the big city of the future. So I thought, let's add, like, chords, differently colored chords that are being connected somewhere elsewhere. Right now I have to constantly choose this opacity thing to be able to make softer strokes, because really the control is not very helpful with that. Especially with hair, it was really hard. Like, each hair, you see it starts really sharp and ends the same way. I mean, of course we can use like this tapper thing, but it's when it's changing this shape and removing the texture, better just have a control of opacity that goes all the way. Well, there we go, this looks interesting. Added a band-aid. I think that brings a little bit more story to the guy. Let's add some colors to the chords. Trying to come up with this thing. This should be like a connector to the brain in there. That's what this little stick is about. But being a stick, it looks kinda lame. So let's make it like into some kind of a cord as well. You may be asking yourself, why wouldn't engineers hide the chords inside of the design? Because they're the most vulnerable parts and obviously very important for the functionality of the thing. Well, not for the cyberpunk engineers. It totally makes sense when it's all on the surface. Well, the main point behind this is because it's like mostly bought on black market and modified by some random dude. So it's like a half self-made equipment. Kinda boring shape of the chord, let's make it a bit more fun. Okay, let's call it done here. Far from perfect, needless to say, but it was quite interesting and has its moments. He kinda looks like a character from some old school 8-bit game, and this is like, you know, his face, and below there will be his monologue. All your base are belong to us. And it like appears letter by letter. Yeah, I gotta say, right now the weakest part of Custom Brush is this inability to make a very like strong control over opacity. Especially like as I make the brush smaller, it gets a lot worse. Like when it's big, you kind of at least see some effect. Although you see, this is the least pressure I can apply, and there's no way to make it more transparent. Like, again, this thing doesn't work. Maybe that's the main problem. There's of course like a master opacity and the opacity of the dab, but that would make me unable to make a completely opaque stroke when I press hard. So yeah, needs a stronger range of opacity from pressure or anything. And when it's small, it becomes like even more, like you barely even see. Like here I press harder, it's all almost looking the same. Yeah, this does not look like I even have the opacity control. Well, it kind of is, but far from what it should be. I can't fade the stroke at all. That's why it was like kind of hard to search all the shapes, especially with hair. That's why it looks like hay, because I can't make soft transitions. With the chords I made soft transitions because I made the opacity super low, so I could just, you know, do this. And then surely it works, but this way you can't make any sharp shapes at all. So that's why everything kinda looks like 8-bit game, because I had this thickness of the stroke defining all the details. Pretty harsh. So yeah, I'm glad I could test out the custom brush right now in action, because this kind of stuff, like we saw there is opacity, but to really figure out that it requires certain adjustments, certain tweaking, you can only tell that when you actually try to paint something. So yeah, I think that was pretty helpful, hopefully, to figure out. Like right now, this is like the only thing I have. Well, and like the minimum size bug also requires fix. So yeah, I don't even know what exactly I think about all this gorgeous painting. I'm so sleepy. I should be sleeping like forever ago. So yeah, this is it. An obvious improvement in this version of beta. So a few more fixes and it's gonna be pretty much a fully functional, powerful tool. And I thank you for watching if you did. I guess you did if you're here. Leave a like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Beware of the forehead. Do whatever you want. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.